All right, so today we're diving into well, something pretty huge. It's a really radical idea from a text called Ian Kai. And look, this is not just another app or some new social media platform. No, what's being proposed here is way more ambitious. We're talking about a brand new operating system for human civilization itself. So, what does that even mean? Let's unpack it.
Okay, so right out of the gate, the source material hits you with this really provocative claim. It says that the internet we've all grown up with, for the last 30 plus years, what we've always called the web, well, it was never really about connecting us. The argument is it was designed for capture. So, okay, if it was a net, what was it designed to capture? What's the catch? That's exactly what we're going to get into in this first part. We're going to unpack the huge problem that, according to the Ian Kai philosophy, sits right at the very heart of the internet we use every single day. And here it is. This is how the source basically reframes everything we do online. It says the net was designed to capture our identity, our behavior, our feelings, even our location, our attention, what we buy, who we're connected to, and yeah, even our vulnerabilities. The argument is that every click, every single login, every post, it's all treated like a currency. The whole system, it claims, was built from the ground up to extract these deeply human parts of us, basically turning each and every one of us into, and this is their term, a unit of extraction. Kind of chilling, right?
So, you gotta ask, right? What happens when you build an entire global civilization on a foundation like that, an extractive one? Well, according to this Enkai text, the whole thing starts to crack under the pressure. It's just not sustainable. So let's take a look at exactly why it's all starting to break down.
First thing on the list, fraud. It's absolutely exploding. And why? Well, the core failure point here is identity. Our digital identities just aren't secure. They can be stolen, they can be faked, they can be forged, and all of that leads to this massive runaway problem with fraud. The second major failure? Confusion. And it's exploding too. This one's all about the integrity of data. I mean, when we can't verify where information is actually coming from, we're basically left drowning in this ocean of noise and bots and synthetic content. It leads to this widespread confusion and, this feeling that we're losing any kind of shared reality.
And the third failure, well, it flows right from the first two. You've got fake identities and untrustworthy data. What happens next? Division. It's also exploding. Because when you can't trust who is saying something or what the data is, truth itself becomes something that can be twisted and manipulated. And the source claims this is a massive driver of all the societal division we're seeing. And this all leads us to the core crisis that the text lays out. It's this powerful metaphor. We built civilization on digital sand, and you just can't hold the weight of an AI-powered world on a foundation of sand. The argument here is really crucial. This isn't something you can just patch or fix with an update. The foundation itself is fundamentally unstable. According to the source, it has to be completely replaced.
Okay, so if the old system is really broken beyond repair, then what's next? What could possibly replace it? This is where we pivot. We've talked about the problem, now let's get into the proposed solution. And this is where we introduce the concept of ENKI. So what exactly is ENKI? Well, what's being proposed here isn't just some upgrade or an Internet 2.0. It's presented as a whole new category of technology. It's framed as a human-centric civilization OS, a system designed to do three things. First, protect human beings, not extract from them. Second, empower citizens, not institutions. And third, verify truth, not manipulate it. It's a total flip of the script. Okay, so I know what you're thinking. That sounds great in theory, but how is any of that actually possible? Well, the source claims it's all built on three core technological breakthroughs. Let's break them down. First, there's a sovereign identity layer. Now think of this like a digital passport that only you can own and control. It makes impersonation literally impossible. Second, a sovereign data layer. This is like having your own personal data vault, and you hold the only key. You get to decide exactly who sees your information and why. And third, a sovereign compute layer. And this one's really interesting. It proposes a new model where you can actually earn income by letting your own devices contribute power to the network. Pretty wild, right? All right, so those three layers we just talked about, that's the foundation. That's the bedrock. Now let's look at the actual architecture that's built on top of it. NKI is presented as 5 core modules, and the cool thing is, each one is designed to directly replace a specific broken part of the internet we have today. Module 1, the identity module. This one takes that sovereign identity layer we just mentioned and puts it to work.
I mean, think about the old system. Endless passwords, constant fear of identity theft, impersonation, fraud. It's a mess. The goal of this module is to make all of that technologically obsolete, just gone. Because if your digital self can't be copied or stolen, those problems just disappear.
Up next, Module 2, the data module. This is designed as a direct shot at what we call surveillance capitalism. You know the drill. Hidden data brokers, trackers following you everywhere. Your data is constantly being harvested and sold without you even knowing it. This module flips that on its head. It puts all your data into your own personal encrypted data locker. You own it. You have the key. You make the rules. End of story.
Then we have the third module, the compute module, and this is where a really fascinating economic shift comes in. The idea here is to basically turn all of our homes and our devices into a huge distributed network of tiny data centers. This is a direct challenge to the big cloud monopolies that run everything right now. And here's the kicker. It's designed to let people, you and me, earn real income for contributing our spare computing power to the network.
And that leads us straight into module number 4, the participation module. I mean, think about it. For decades, everything we do online, every post, every photo, every search, has generated a massive value for these huge platforms. And how much of that value comes back to us? Pretty much zero. This module introduces a brand new economic idea, something the source calls proof of participation. It's all about making sure that the value we create actually flows back to us, the individuals who are contributing to the network. And finally, we get to the 5th module, the truth module. This is the one that really ties everything else together. And the logic behind it is actually pretty simple. Think about it. If every single identity on the network is real and authenticated, and all data is cryptographically signed the moment it's created, well then digital deception becomes mathematically impossible. Things like disinformation, fake accounts, deepfake fraud, they just have no ground to stand on. The entire foundation for that stuff is just gone. So this brings us to the final and maybe the most crucial idea of all. The source presents this whole thing not as just, picking a new piece of tech. It's framed as a defining moment for civilization. It's about the conscious act of logging out of the system we have now in order to build something totally fundamentally new.
And this table here, man, it really captures the entire philosophical shift we're talking about. Look at this divide. On the one side, the old internet. Control? You log into our systems. The new way? Our systems log into you. Data? We own your data becomes you own your data. Value? Instead of you pay for access, it's you earn for participation. And trust? We go from trust the platform to verify everything. It's a massive power shift, moving from corporations ruling everything to people governing their own digital lives. And we're going to end on this final, really provocative statement from the source. Once humanity logs out of their system, the world as we know it ends, and the new world begins. Wow. I mean, it frames ENKA as basically an exit door, a chance to build a whole new parallel layer for civilization, one that's based on sovereignty and on truth. It's a monumental idea to think about, and it really leaves you with that one big question. What would it truly mean for all of us to log out?